G'day all, Ben here from East West. Some nice price movement to finish off the week in both gold and silver. So let's just jump into the charts and see what price has done this week. So just starting off on a weekly, I've just got an Ichimoku view of the market here. So what we can see here is obviously, for those of you who may not know much about the Ichimoku sort of cloud system, the cloud is demonstrating the strength of the trend. Okay, so this big fat section of the cloud, and it is still quite wide, is demonstrating the strength of the trend that we've seen. This yellow line is the Chiku span, which is today's closing price set 26 periods back. That has connotations when the market corrects. But what we've got here too is the Kijinsen, which is the slower moving. Well, it's not quite a moving average. It's moving average like, but it's the slower moving line, and the Tenkan-sen, which is in the red. Usually, the market doesn't like these lines to be too far apart. They like to come back together and move in sync. When they do get a long way apart, as they sort of did here, that usually just means that price and time are out of balance, and the market just needs to spend a bit of time letting the lines catch up. So we're kind of in a bit of a similar situation here just at the moment, where price has really run away from the Tenkan-sen. So, you know, it may need another couple of weeks of digesting just to let this red line catch up to price, because they like to coincide. They don't like to get too far away from each other. So we're a little bit hot in terms of price when we compare it to time. Now that's also been demonstrated in the RSI, where we're just starting to get some very, very slight divergence. I wouldn't worry about this too much. This could be just something to think about further down the track. This week's candle's been pretty good. It's, you know, you wouldn't call it a hammer because it's not. I mean, it's got hammer-like connotations in so much as the market opened. They pushed it right down, and the bears could not hold it down there, and we returned right back here. So it is a wick rejection down below these levels, down below these previous weekly levels. So we've rejected from those levels. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail, but generally speaking, you know, this is quite constructive to my eyes, that we could start to push up and maybe take out these highs in the next week or two. But once again, just in regards to this, I would like to see the price just wait for the Tenkan-sen to catch up, because it just shows a bit of better balance in terms of price and time. So this is where we were last week. We were looking at this range, the breakdown of this range, but it didn't get anywhere near the sort of target that I was looking for. And we've since, had a very strong Thursday, Friday, breaking back up. So it would seem to me now that this correction is done and dusted. So I was looking for this, which we were sort of following, but you know, we couldn't quite get there. So I've misread that to a degree. I thought perhaps we could come down a little bit lower. But what it means is basically where I've misread it. There's always a marker. So I'll just clean this up to show you where I missed the trick per se. Now, when we come off this pivot here, we did get down into this retracement zone. We just missed out on hitting the top just here, which would have been a nice little peak to. We just got close, but we didn't quite get to it. But when you come down through the time frames a little bit, you could almost take, this is, you could move pivots to where we really broke out from, even off that low, and we've really just tagged that 61.8 exactly. So I think, we're close enough here. So, this correction now, we took off here, we corrected from the bottom of this little correction, we took off, we've corrected, and we're right back there. So I did miss that trick because I was looking for something a little bit deeper. Look, until we firmly break the top, there's still a chance that this corrects further, but it kind of feels to me now that it might want to just start to ease up back through the all-time highs and start to really think about getting above 2,700 and beyond. So I think we got the pitchfork play here, where we can look for this median line. If it did that, that would be unreal. That would be very sharp. I'm not sure it can do that. It might just want to dribble a bit further before it hits that median line. But we will just see how this movement, as it's begun, how it develops through the week. Just taking a real sort of close Elliott style look at this moving up, because this looks quite impulsive, I'd be sort of thinking, that looks like a nice one, nearly back 50% for 2. And then what we've got from that point up to here is we've got an extension that almost gets up here to the 161.8. So that would just lead me to think, okay, well, the way I'd look at this is probably 1, 2, coming in for 3, making a 4, and coming up to do a 5th wave like that. So maybe something along these lines, but I think for me, just buying it just here and now, because, maybe you can start to tie in that we just come up and sort of test, these old tops first, and maybe just reject them initially. So maybe that doesn't quite go that far, but you get the point. This is just a stylized, perhaps, maybe, I'm not sure. But maybe we just come up and do that first, and then we start a bit of a correction. But look, either way for me, because you can also make the argument that we've got some of these tops that we're starting to run in here. So that's why I'm not a buyer just here. For me, as always, it's just about retracing wherever this comes back to. Okay, so I would just be tracking this move up, just dragging my fib retracement and just waiting for the market to have the pullback from whichever point. Because I don't know it's going to do this. This is just a possibility, one of many. I'm still just waiting for something like that. Okay, if it came down and tagged that in line with it, if it did something like that, that would be I'd find that quite exciting. I'd probably be pretty keen to go long here. But however, I would say that this does now look like it is on the way back up to challenge through the all-time highs. Obviously I don't know when that's going to happen, but I think this correction now looks done and dusted to me. Just flipping over to silver here, and this one behaved a little bit better. This was the retracement zone that we pointed out last week, and looks like here we've got basically an expanded flat that came down here. And look, the way that you can see here, just coming in here, you can see these wicks down here. The way it rejected out of this area, and now it's pushed on very strongly. Well, that looks pretty good to me. And I even mentioned on my recently relaunched X account, I just posted on Thursday, that it was time to go long silver. This is where I tagged it in. So on this social media page that I'm running is just I just post videos mainly. I'll post an occasional chart. Follow if you want. Don't follow if you don't. But yeah, that is just, I viewed this as a time to go long silver. It looks very constructive to me from here. So you can even see here that we had this sort of choppy sideways action, and then we've taken off out of it. So this. The thing is, when I look at this looks impulsive because it's a strong move. There's not a lot of, and we've got a little pullback here, then we've come up again. So trying to make Elliott sense out of that, I'm not so sure. I think if you're not in, if you're looking to get in, well, look, you could get in now, I suppose. But the warning shot here for me is that if you take the retracement back the other way, we are just running into the 50, and that's where it's just starting to bog down, which was kind of where these old bottoms were, where we just topped out again and were rejected. So it does make sense that perhaps we're just pausing here for a moment. I think the path up is clear for now. Like, I think you can, but like I said, if you wanted to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more a little more conservative, just say it like that, and nothing wrong with that, is, once again, I say this all the time, just wait for the retracement, okay? And what becomes good especially is where you have got a little bit of structure within that retracement. So you've got this little pause section here. So for the market to sort of then come back and test this and hold and then go on again, that's kind of what you're looking for. So that is certainly what I would be looking for with silver. I am holding a bit long. Once it started breaking up on Thursday, I was keen to go long. It's continued on, which is great. I am just am wary of this pullback. Not wary of it, but I'm looking for it, and if it happens, I'll probably just add a little bit to my position. And then if this plays ball and gets up here, I might just lighten the load a little bit, but ultimately I'm going to sort of hold, looking for the market to get back up towards there. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.